The International Monetary Fund has expressed worry about the possible long-term implications of foreign exchange intervention by central banks confronted with monetary policy challenges. This was disclosed by the International Monetary Fund in a document which titled How Africa Can Navigate Growing Monetary Policy Challenges, released earlier in the week. The IMF agreed that mechanisms such as foreign exchange intervention can help to mitigate the consequences of shocks, but that they must be carefully balanced against potential long-term cost. And so let's get talking now. Mr. Adewale Justus is a policy analyst. He's here with me. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
It's my pleasure.
Let's look at, because what the IMF is saying is that there is excessive intervention of the CBN in the forex market. And so, but the approach which the CBN adopt is to intervene by pumping more dollars to address the scarcity. Isn't it a very good approach to address the scarcity or the crisis in the forex market? If you compare that with the position of IMF, how do you balance the two positions?
Thank you very much. I just want to call our attention to a very critical issue. The theoretics by IMF. Because this that was just released sounded so much as an oddity. Because I wouldn't know the CBN that is being said is intervening by pumping FX.
No, our own CBN, of course, usually.
Which is just one of those media reports. It's a lie. Because like I was sharing with somebody, just last week, I have a friend who was importing, and he needed just $100,000, while none of his 3 bankers could provide to fund an LC. We got referred to some persons, from some persons to some other persons, and eventually we got to the CBN through some of the officials of CBN. My dear brother, it was all impossibility. If the central bank is, as said, truly pumping FX into the economy, you wouldn't find this barrage of black marketers on the streets. So I wouldn't know how I am at a loss with, over that, because I'm just feeling the IMF is responding to theories.
I think it's a mixed bag of issues here, because at the moment, what the CBN is currently doing
is saying to be doing, which is not being done.
No, the results are there. It's just that perhaps maybe we have other fundamental issues that we do not yet know that exist. But then currently what the CBN is doing is on a weekly basis push dollars out there into the market to address the scarcity. Of course, you remember that the new policy is that the CBN has banned, since last year or so, the CBN has since banned the sales of forex to the Bureau de Change officially.
Yep. And these same persons now get the forex from commercial bankers. Hello?
Because the commercial bankers really
the BDC operators
are the officially, they are the one that have been mandated and licensed
to get it across to their customers. And the customers don't get them. I'm telling you authoritatively. The customers, I have a friend, I have a client, I have somebody last week, we went round just for $100,000.
What do you think could be the problem or the challenge? We continue to have these issues around
implementation.
And how do you think we can address it?
It's still all part of leadership failure, because simple policy simple process monitoring and reporting, because like I was saying, sometimes you see, are there being people are allowed to report live their endeavors and the cost of this? Maybe someone that was seeking just 100,000, he had gone through his bankers and now he couldn't get it. If there is a portal or if there is a medium through which he gets back this message to the regulator, the CBN, and then he can follow up, and there is a link as well through which he too can follow up, maybe it will be out. But this everybody on the desk is doing business with all this.
The experience you shared about a friend who wanted to have
Yes.
access to it, and you gave earlier, could that be just one happening out of, just one instance?
I don't think it's. I did 15 years in the bank as an internal controller. So with that, my experience in monitoring and reporting makes me believe this is still the order of the day. Because if as a customer, officially you went through this route and yet there was no success, and there's no means, because at the end there is a feedback mechanism and a reporting system or structure through which the customer who sought this funding could get back to the regulators. Hello? If there is a medium through which customers can get back now to the regulators, not even the intermediating banks, maybe there may be a way out. But the way it is, I don't think it's just one out of numerous. Oh, sorry. I have numerous experience, because as we are talking, I have another friend who is into paper import. He's just there at Agidingbi. He too has been in this wahala and is still in it as we are speaking. So I wouldn't know where IMF and the rest are getting all these their details from.
Okay, we get back to IMF. I mean, you've raised a lot of issues that we need to look at here. Let's look at this issue critically and objectively. Now, from your own experience in the banking sector, what do you suppose and how do you think the country can get ahead above this forest scarcity? And again, fundamentally, what do you think is the issue? Because you gave us an instance of where you're trying to source, you've gone around, and then you went to the CBN's officials and then you couldn't get. Does that suggest that the CBN is trying to create its scarcity, artificial scarcity, where the problem is trying to solve? What does all of this imply?
It's all procedural. It's a process scam. This is still a bit of the beatings and the rhythms of corruption. Like I said, the CBN should open up a system that enables fund seekers direct access to the CBN, not for processing, but reporting. Hello, do you understand? If I am in need of $10,000 as a customer to a bank, if I process through my banker, either with success or failure, and if the CBN is sincere about tracking, I volunteer to provide free consultancies on these issues.
I think there's a complaint desk which is
that is just that desk is a stagnant desk. Nobody picks up anything they're from. And if at all they pick up, is belated. And even the belated pickup is never attended to. And if they peradventure attend to it, they do not revert to the victim of that complaint. Do you understand? Before I left the bank, I did much on compliance. Compliance would enable you link complaints with resolutions with all the stakeholders duly carried along. Do you understand? See, most of this that is being said and is being peddled through the media, they are unreal. I would have loved us maybe as a station, because I can volunteer, I can give you 10, 20 lists of people that regularly need FX. You go around them, go find out, or maybe we'll just monitor. Let them carry us along on their FX need, maybe per month, and we'll watch them go through the processing. And then at the end of the month, we'll come back here and share the outputs.
Are you saying the policy of CBN, using the commercial banks as the sole custodian and this resale point in this particular?
It is a wonderful policy, well intended.
All right.
But the persons and the people manning the desks are the problem.
What kind of mechanism would you want to put in place, or would you want the CBN to put in place to address fraud, a case of fraud, and a case of sabotage?
Like I've said, it is not the mechanism in place now is superb and wonderful. But the implementation, the people and the processes, like I said, at the bin, there is a medium communicated and open to people that captures people's official request Do you understand? You know, just like a bank, a commercial bank, you know, there was a time so many things were going on in the bank. But it got to a state through CRM. A bank customer that seeks financing from a bank, and maybe after a while something else happens, there were opportunities to flush such through reporting. Do you understand? If the CBN provides a portal or a mechanism, then with a bit of I believe so much in legislation. How do I mean? Because even if you have sought FX funding, 20,000, across 4 weeks, no response or no success, then a mechanism of reporting such failure, both to the regulator and another follow-up structure, through which such victim can seek redress. Do you understand?
Let's try to wrap up as we try to wrap up now. What would you suggest the country do to get past this stage? Because at the moment there is scarcity of forests.
Artificial.
There is scarcity
created by the people on the desks at the CBN. Artificial scarcity. Like I said, last week when we were going around, somebody was openly telling us that Oga Adibin is $1 million that you need, and at 30 naira per dollar, we can get you this thing under 30 minutes. Hello? So is the mechanism, the allocation structures at the CBN. The CBN has good intention, but the people on those desks are the demons here.
So what you're saying is that we may probably not get past this problem.
We may not. We may not.
In near future.
We may not. The way things are, because people are getting enriched by that artificial scarcity created by the processes. Do you understand? The institution has come up with something very fantastic. That is what works everywhere. But the people manning the desks are the demons here.
But did you think, as we wrap up now, did you think that this particular policy being tested or being run at the moment or practiced at the moment, you know, it's not solving any matter? And what
what
do you think are the alternatives?
You know, it is the ways and means now.
Yeah.
But had it been the CBN as a regulator comes up with a sanctioning system that is so strong and fierce. Do you understand me? The policy is superb and it's a workable policy. But the people manning the desks, let there be something to be done to them.
Okay, I think you need to leave it there. Thank you so much, Mr. Adewale Justus. He's a policy analyst and he's also a former banker, like you heard him there. Thank you so much for
your
time on Business Breakfast. We appreciate your time.